it's casual, so.
I don't know if you read our assignment.
I
the one
have.
that's
I
attached.
read it when, I guess when you sent it to me. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So just to give you like a brief synopsis, our assignment is to engage our fellow peers, which would be our audience, as if they are new employees for the Giants.
Okay, that worked. Yeah, absolutely.
We all want them to be just as excited about us. We're very excited about this opportunity. Want to thank you again.
No, I'm more than happy to help you guys.
you
Actually,
so
our
much.
senior vice president graduated from state.
Oh, really?
And there's some alumni.
Really? Yeah, I think he spoke at our
He did.
graduation last year.
I know he spoke at an event. I don't know if it was a graduation or something.
Okay, I know that I think it was him that spoke at the graduation last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Ashley, did you want to get started with some questions?
Sure.
If it's okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna
no.
get started with some
To be honest with you, have at it. So I'm all yours.
So what ethics and or values does your organization hold as important?
Well, I mean, if you think about the organization, like community is big. I mean, internally through here, we have the Junior Giants program. We have a community fund that helps groups from the outside, and then the Junior Giants program. We actually have thousands and thousands of kids all throughout the state, up in Nevada, up in Oregon, that we offer baseball for free. So it's like Little League almost.
Okay.
So there's a lot that we do outside of the Giants that a lot of people know of, some people may not realize. We also we give out a lot of tickets to different organizations. We work with Major League Baseball, and one of their big initiatives is reaching out to groups that can't really afford going to games.
Okay.
So we invite thousands of people, whether it's a particular group or the military or other groups, to at least visit us over here. So we're very strong in the community. It's something that we're proud of. I mean, we are a business, but we're part of the community itself. So we're trying to do the best we can.
Awesome. Jonathan, did you want to ask your question?
Yeah, my question to you is, how does your organization get clients and members?
So how do we, gain season ticket members?
Yeah.
Or potential
Yeah.
clients? We have a large sales team, to be honest with you. It's really separated. We have a business development team that reaches out to sell suites or suite packages or certain premium seats.
Yeah.
We have an inside sales team that will cold call individuals, that will cold call companies. We can garner different lists that we can get from a variety of places that, it's not like we're opening up a phone book. They're past buyers. They may have bought a 6-pack or a 2-pack. They could be former season ticket holders. Right now we have one of our largest bases. So 30,000 seats out of 42,000 are actual season tickets. So before we play on Tuesday, 30,000 seats are sold for every game.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time? You said 30,000 seats out
Out
of
of 42,000.
42,000.
So before we have our first game, that's how many tickets we've sold just with this group. Not including individual sales, group sales, or anything else. So that's kind of our core value. So, as some teams you may see that sales is their strong point where they're trying to sell because they have a lot of inventory. On our end, we use service to strive to do the best we can because 30,000 tickets for every game is over $100 million essentially. And that's a lot of money. So if we focus our time on that, and that's what my group oversees. So we're actually in charge of retention and servicing all season ticket holders. And it's my responsibility to work with sales team to garner new season tickets. So our business model is actually starting to evolve to a service side versus a sales side because of that.
Wow.
Okay. Question for you. So, what would you say your leadership style is? How do you usually engage with your peers?
I don't micromanage, but I like to. I started as an intern. I've taken seasonal positions here. I've taken part-time positions here. So everything on the entry level side, I've done. So I know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So in case they're gone for the day, I can fill in, do something. I'm still answering phones. You really have to jump in to get whatever has to get done. I mean, it's all hands on deck usually. I'm very involved. I'll go around twice a day just to see what's going on. If it's nothing, it's nothing. I have my responsibilities to do, but I want to make sure that my staff has all the tools they need to succeed. Because if they succeed, I succeed. Plain and simple.
Right. Megan.
How does the organization communicate internally and externally?
Internally here, I mean, you have a lot of different departments. Within the ticket office is usually the first place fans will try to reach. We have a call center. We have our regular Giants hotline where anybody can call, just like a company number.
Okay.
We also have a couple different season ticket holder numbers they can call exclusively for them. But we have to make sure that we're in communication with all the departments. If someone has a question, when is the slumber party? Or how can I buy tickets to it? Well, that event is put on by sponsorship. We need to know what's going on. If there's a special event going on, we have to work with the sales team in order to know what we're giving away that night, how much does it cost, and everything else. Because we're the ones getting the calls. If someone needs a donation request, we don't want to forward them up. We want to make sure we're equipped with everything. So internally here, at least within the ticket office, we have to know everything that's going on because that's where whether you're a season ticket holder or a Giants fan, anybody calling us, we want to make sure we can answer.
Okay.
Externally, we communicate a lot to our season ticket members. We also have, that's one list. We also have a larger list that people can sign up for. Like, could be as high. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. But it could be 400,000 or 500,000 people that sign up for. We call it jottings, where they get ticket offers, they get Giants news, and they just get emails from us. But on my end, my number one focus is communicating with season ticket holders because I handle all of the communications. So I write everything going out. We offer pre-sales to them. We offer, tomorrow we're sending out a homestand update. We have 9 games coming up. So information on 9 games. They're well equipped to make sure what's going on.
Why would anyone want to work for the Giants? I know that you said that you told me that they called you, they gave you this great offer, but what makes the Giants such an amazing organization to work for?
They are pretty well known in sports for being innovative, not just in baseball, but in other sports. We do start a lot of trends going on, especially with electronic ticketing. And I'm only speaking on that side because that's the department I'm in.
Right.
Digital ticketing, before StubHub, we had a secondary market. We talked to my VP and he's pissed off that he didn't trademark it or do anything. We're always trying to, I know it sounds funny, but the more and more we do, the more and more revenue we get, but the more and more we're out there that's convenient for other people. We have, you can walk in the game on opening day and you can upgrade your seats on your phone. There's and granted we're paying for the service, but the ticket holder is simply paying the difference of their ticket. They're not paying for the service of, if someone has a lower box ticket and they want to go to the club, they're just paying the difference that they originally paid for the ticket. So to the consumer, there's not much, they're not paying for the service, but we try to be as engaging to our fans as we can, especially this day and age. Because of that, you hear, other teams are calling us for information. There's certain things that we try to lead the way, and I'm fortunate enough to be here. Nobody leaves, which is funny. I've spoken to other teams, with the Red Sox, with the Padres, a number of other teams where the staff that I oversee, they've been here since the ballpark opened pretty much. Their turnover is usually every 2 to 3 years. So there's a reason why people want to stay here, gives them opportunities. And we're also a big family. We're not really here 5 days a week. We're here on the weekends as well. We're here nights. I also like to give everyone that works for me, everyone has families, everyone has lives. I don't want them here every game. If I see them every game, I'm telling them to go home. It's not like they're getting paid more, to be here extra hours, but, there has to be a good balance, within your life. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy.
Definitely.
And my second question to you
Yeah.
is, how effectively does this organization communicate?
In what regard? To
I'm sorry. How effectively does the organization use communication?
use communication?
Yes.
We will email. We can't really use like a voicemail blast anymore unless we used to do that because now there's laws in place that limit us doing so. So we kind of set back text messaging. We do that. We also have like text to security in case there's any issues during the game. Social media is huge. We probably have 500,000 followers hours on Twitter, a lot on Facebook. That's a great way to send out communication. Now you're starting to see the Giants itself has all these social media avenues, but now you're starting to see departments within the Giants also doing the same. We have a season ticket holder Twitter handle that we promote, that we put information on. It's not really a sales pitch because we're not selling anything through there, but it's like, hey, gates are opening early on this day. So and so won a sweepstakes prize. Just let them know what we do, what kind of events we hold, so we'll communicate that way as well. I mean, social media is starting to get bigger and bigger.
Did you also mean like within the organization? Like, do you mostly communicate through social media with your
Not within.
employees?
No, not on that end. It's more to fans or season ticket holders in general.
So within, is it email or?
Email's the best way.
Okay.
People will send out emails to the whole organization or to certain departments updating them on what's going on. We also have an intranet
Okay.
that whenever you go on Explore or Firefox, whatever you're working on, that's the first page that comes up. Everyone posts things on there, so even if you don't know anything, you can get some information from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, my second question is a two-part question.
Okay.
I want to know, what is the central mission of your goals of the organization, and what is your organization's philosophies?
Well, let's talk about goals first. I mean, obviously, we want to make the postseason every year.
Yeah,
There's
of course.
revenue goals, there's ticket goals that we have to reach. Part of the goal, and I guess, big accomplishment is what we do in the community as well. We do a lot of fundraisers. We also support the Junior Giants program to allow kids to basically play baseball for free. We have a whole department looking for volunteers, coaches. We have to work with every single city. Those cities, they may work with the schools, or they may work with, rec departments in order to support these leagues. Every year, we usually have a player represent. We build a new field in different cities every single year, and we usually have like a player involvement in that. What was your second question again?
What is the organization's philosophies?
I mean, that's all part of it. It's really, we're part of San Francisco. I mean, it's the Giants. We've been here a long time. As long as we're strong in the community, as long as we have one of the best fan base in baseball. I'm not just, I'm talking loyalty here. They pay to see games. I mean, we have almost 260 straight sellouts. Part of that was 2 World Series wins, which we've been fortunate about. But I mean, last year we were tied for 3rd and 4th place. We still sold out every single game. There's a really good base here. We feel that we're part of the community, and because of that, we embrace everything else. I go to a lot of breakfasts, a lot of luncheons that different people put on, just so someone is well represented within the organization of these different functions.
Does your organization engage in any media or marketing, and if so, is it effective, and if not, why?
We're in media all the time.
Okay.
I'm not just talking about whether you're listening to a game on the radio or watching us on TV, but media is always coming after us for information versus us, announcing
okay.
anything. Every game there's going to be media in the locker room interviewing players. Internally through here we do have a PR department. We will send out press releases.
Mm-hmm.
It could be because we traded a player, we signed a player. We had a big media release last week because we invited all the media out here, talked to them what's new around the ballpark, all the new construction, new food items around here, what we've done. We work with them very closely.
So I guess now we'll move to the more internal structure. I would
Yeah.
like to know your organization structure. 'Cause
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
class we learn about there's the top-down military style.
Yeah.
There's the DPO, so everyone has responsibility. So how do you work in the office?
We work a little bit differently than other organizations. Most places have like a sales team. I'm talking within the ticket office, but the ticket office is pretty big. You'll kind of get the idea. Most people will simply have a sales team and they'll handle everything else. They'll handle retention, renewals, sales, the works. We split it up where we have a sales team that sells new season tickets and we have a team that retains them. We have a group inside sales and the sales team that goes ahead and sells group tickets, sells suites. We also have a group that tries to retain them. Our business model that I feel is basically the more and more we get to know the customers on a personal level, the harder it is to say no to the giants. You know, if there's a group buyer that buys, you know, 2 games of 100 tickets every year, and they get to know their sales rep, or if we have a season ticket holder that's been here 5 years that got to know their account executive, then it's harder for them to say no to the Giants employee than it is to the Giants. So we strive to build relationships here, and that's kind of our model.
Wow. I'm very curious about your leadership and how you deal with just how the organization, when you succeed, and how you and your coworkers like interact around that, and how when like your weaknesses and how you deal with that, or when something goes differently than you planned it to, and how you go around that.
And that happens all the time. We working in the ticket office, we have a ticketing system, but it's not internal. It's a third party, and that's everybody else has one. No one really has a internal ticketing system. Well, any changes that they do will affect us, that will affect our customers, and we have to be reactive and proactive about things in case there's any significant changes. We have to, otherwise the service level isn't there. If we're out there telling them there's an issue, even if it's negative, if there's an issue, at least they know about it. We're not getting hundreds of calls coming in. They know that we know there's an issue, they know that we're trying to fix it. It's just really communicating with everybody, and we do that as much as we can. It doesn't happen all the time, don't get me wrong, but we have to be reactionary and able to take care of our customers as best we can. On the leadership side, we all work together. I mean, decisions are obviously made on a leadership level, but we do want everyone's input. I mean, if I'm part of a group that's trying to make a decision, I'm going to my group, getting their feedback about things, because if it doesn't work on their level, we can't really promote something if we know that ticket holders aren't going to like it. And so we do work closely on that front. What else are you looking for?
No, that's really great.
We're very open. I mean, we have to be.
Yeah, we learn organizational structure, and we've studied several different organizations and how they interact within. And for our assignment, we're supposed to kind of intrigue our audience, our peers, in how the structure works.
So we have a president, Larry Bear. Below him, you have revenue is all under one umbrella. That's ticket sales, sponsorship, retail, all of that. Then you also have the communication side to it, which is media, marketing, and everything under there. And then the third part is baseball operations. That's what most people see, the team on the field, scouting, any of our minor league teams. So that's pretty much how the organization is split. Within there's obviously different blocks. If you go into revenue, I'm not a buyer, so I'm not going to go ahead and pick out T-shirts for retail. Am I going to work with retail? Absolutely. We hold events for season ticket holders all the time for a variety of clients. I may call the director or the VP of our retail department and say, hey, we want to hold 10 events this season after hours, invite ticket holders in. I want you to give them a big discount, and we'll have like wine, we'll have food, and they'll come in, they'll spend money. To the season ticket holder, they get a bigger discount. They're not fighting lines on a game day, and it's just easier for them to shop. So we'll work with everybody else. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Like even on the communication side, you have media, you have marketing. Within marketing, you have sponsorship, you have the creative marketing side, where the commercials we work with agencies. We work with radio, with the broadcasters, everything else. So those are the three main, but within each of them separates a little bit. Baseball operations, you have the club that you see out here, you have a minor league system, you have scouts, and ultimately everything reports to Larry Bear.
Cool. John, did you have a question?
So I'm curious, when's the last time when you're in an organization that it's very difficult, like the the harshest time during your time in Giants, and how do you overcome that?
I think for me, obviously when the first 5-6 years of the ballpark, it's a new ballpark, tickets were selling. After the All-Star game, 2008, 2009, even going into the 2010 season was our lowest point in regards to ticket sales. We still did great, but it was our, by far, if you compare today to then, it was a big difference. With that, you're not simply walking away from a sale. If somebody can't renew their season tickets, we accept it, but what can you do? What are the reasons? Is it because there's too many games? Is it too expensive? What can you do? Is it 20 games work for you if we partner you up with something else? When you're vulnerable like that, I don't know if that's the right word or not, but you're a little bit more open to working with them. The way I look at it, if someone has a full season, and we only do full season tickets, by the way, we don't sell 20 game plans or half seasons or Saturday only, so it's expensive, and we have to work with people to try to find partners to give them ideas on how to use tickets. But in 2008, 9, and 10, my view is if someone's not coming back because they lost their job for a year or two, well, how can we at least hook them for a little bit where I can bet anybody that they'll be back as a season ticket holder in a few years? Because if we let them walk, they're probably not going to come back. But if we work with them and say, hey, just call me when you want to go to games, I can sell you 10 games, or pick 10 games, I'll just sell it to you. No questions asked. I still have the connection with that person. Whereas, hey, 2-3 years on the road, they have a job now, they have a little bit more income, they might buy a full season. So if I can still at least,
So would you agree that the follow-up process is a huge part of how Giants communicate
oh yeah,
with their customers?
oh yeah, and every situation is different. We can't send out an email blast and say this is what we're offering. Well, it may not work for everybody. We have to be on the phone with people, talk to them. It could be a situation where it's really money, and hey, and maybe we invite them to an event this year on the house. It could be a company. Tickets are always the first to go in companies. It's marketing. We'll go ahead and just release these. There's no budget for it. Well, what if we, hey, invite your employees for 1 year. Let's at least stay connected in some fashion so we don't lose that contact. That's the main thing. Because once they're gone, it's a lot harder to get back.
Does anyone have any other questions? Because I know that a part of our assignment is to kind of get a better understanding. If there's any way we could see the department in which you work,
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
your office,
Absolutely,
and get
yeah.
a tour.
Quick tour.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing to add, we also do a lot of surveys just to understand our customers as well. And that could be the general fan that buys a single game ticket, or we could be asking them about their experience, or it could be people that have annual parking passes and ask them about their parking experience. We'll ask about concessions. We email them about their season ticket holder rep, how they've been doing. So we do a lot of surveys to try to get to know and understand the customer.
Megan, speaking of parking,
Parking. Oh yeah.
Do you have to go feed the meter or something? Or
We parked at the China Basin.
like in the big parking lot?
Yeah, right across the street, I think.
Mr. Totah?
It's this way.
Yeah.
Mr. Totah? I have a
Yeah.
question for you. Let's just say you get a really big signing, a player.
Yeah.
Does that really help it's a down year for you guys? You guys are going on a losing streak, and sales start to slowly decline. Let's say you get a trade or a really good player.
Yeah.
Does that definitely boost up your sales because they want to go
Absolutely.
check out
Absolutely.
that specific player?
Well, they show that the team's committed. If they're
Okay.
going to sign a player for $20 million a year, like Hunter Pence, we signed him during the off season. That's going to help with renewals. It's something to talk about. If a team doesn't have any star players and they finished in 4th place the last 5 years, they're not going to have much to talk about. But all of a sudden, if that team goes through a cycle where they start having some young players that are developing, they may sign 1 or 2 free agents. Fans are going to start to see that, hey, they're committed, there's hope. It's easier to sell season tickets that way. And I say season tickets or some kind of package because during the off season is really when you start to do that. It's not until after the new year where you start to sell individual game tickets.
And one more thing, knowing that your minor league is the San Jose Giants, and let's say you get a really hyped player, he's becoming popular. when you guys sign him, does that also necessarily increase sales, or does that?
Like a really young player, you mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I wouldn't say like as high as 99%, even higher, will go to rookie ball in Arizona to play first, and then they'll kind of assign that player. Most of them will go to San Jose, but if they're really, really good, they may skip single A and go to double A. But we're very involved in San Jose. We actually own part of the San Jose Giants. If you go to any game here, I think at some point in the game they'll talk about their minor league players. They'll highlight 3 or 4 of them so general fans can start to pick up names. Internally through here, we actually hold an event down there. We invite all the employees for one game and go check that venue out and just kind of hang out at the team building. And everybody in the organization is invited. So we work very closely with our minor league team. But in the draft, there's a big like Buster Posey, for example. I mean, he was the biggest star that has come up really quickly. So when he was in San Jose, there was hype in San Jose, but he didn't last long. He went to the next place. The hype may not generally be there because the San Jose Giants are so close to us, so it's the same media. So you'll sort of see fans now support the San Jose Giants because they want to see Buster Posey play. If he goes to the East Coast or to Arizona, you may not. The media may not have that buzz there. They just know he's a rising star. That's about it. But it helps.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If one of your employees is not working well to your expectations, or you can tell that they're having personal issues, how would you communicate with them to try to get them to get back on track? And
I think those are 2 different issues. If they're not to par, I guess, we talk about it. I would work with them. I would give them recommendations because I want to see him or her succeed as well. Give them ideas on what to do. And obviously it's a different story if they don't listen to those ideas or don't do anything. But I take it to heart to at least work with them as best as I can. I see you doing this. Why don't you change it up a little bit and do this? Why don't you start making these calls? Why don't you, when you're calling people, what are you asking? Can we change the wording so you can get more information or get to the right person?
okay.
Now, if there's a personal issue, it's best to be open about it. And there has been personal issues, and I think we've all worked close enough where they have come and talked to me or talked to somebody else. We're a family here. We know each other's families as well. So it's like we're there for you. Just be open and honest, and we'll give you time depending on what it is. If it's a death in the family, if it's a divorce, if it's their kid is sick. We do work a lot of hours here, and if someone has to go pick up their kid because they're sick at 2 o'clock, they're just going to go at 2 o'clock. I'm not out there to count how many calls they make. I see everything coming in, and I listen to them on the phones. I work right next to them, so I see that they're doing the work. So, and if they're leaving at 2, I know the next day they may get here earlier, so I'm not too concerned.
John?
Yeah, it's a question for like more on a personal side. What would you discuss? Like our team members, a lot of us are graduating this year or next year. What advice would you give for like a fresh grad?
I mean, be patient and willing to start at the bottom. I think, especially with this organization or any sports organization, working the front line, you're gaining experience dealing with customers. You can't teach someone customer service. They're only going to learn it based on experience. I can teach someone how to sell a ticket. That's easy to do. I can teach all of you guys how to sell a ticket. Go on the ticketing system, pick the game, buy it, get a credit card. It's pretty simple. But I can't train someone on the service side. They're going to have to go through it. You can provide trainings and talk to them, but you're either a people person or you're not. If you're not a people person, it's going to be very difficult striving on sales and customer service. But if you start from the bottom, you start to see how either companies or different organizations actually run. It gives you a better idea.
We've read a little bit about your biography, and you graduated USF 2003, and sort of since then you have been working in the sports sector. So what kept you in?
Oh, there's been
this?
times where I've been offered other jobs outside of sports, and somehow it kept me back in. When I left the Giants originally, it was for more experience. I knew entry level, you're not making a lot of money, so it wasn't really the money. But if I stayed, I bet I wouldn't have gone anywhere. I knew I was doing a good job. I enjoyed my job. I enjoyed the organization, but it was more personal. I was like, if I leave and go to Stanford, I can gain a lot more experience. And I did a lot over there within 1 year. Loved it over there. I was planning on staying there, but opportunities were going to come up. And then when I came back in 2007, I've had one. This is my third job. All within the same group, though. I was a coordinator, then a manager, then now a director. So I've been in ticketing for a while.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So Giants allow this sort of progression in companies because there's a lot of other companies that doesn't even allow.
I'll be
sort of
honest with you,
upward.
and I'm open to my colleagues about this too. If I see opportunities elsewhere, because they've been here a long time, I'm not leaving anytime soon. Their next progression is at my level, and so I know job openings just don't come up. We don't create jobs because this is how we run. We're not going to create a job for you. We can't give you a director's role without director's responsibilities when someone else has it. So I'm very open. I try to do different things where they're exposed to different departments a little bit more. I do a mentorship program every year, so everyone is required to pick someone outside of ticketing to work with. Most of them pick directors and VPs in different departments. That allows that individual to get to know the other person, what they do, where they've come from, what their department does. On the other end, it allows them to understand some of my colleagues and where they've come from, what they've done. Also talks about what we do as a department. So a lot of times, as long as if I have someone talking about our department with another department more and more, we can start working a little bit closer together. Ideas may form. So, I am doing it for them, but on the other end, though, I want our department to be known, what we do. I want the rest of the organization to know how much work and time we put into it.
Since everyone is a family and there's a lot of open communication, in your offices, do you guys have a lot of cameras constantly watching people?
Only if there's an exit or an entrance. But like within the offices, does that make sense?
Yes.
So like in the ticket lobby, there was a camera. Is that what you're referring to? Like
Yes.
a security camera?
Like we learn about that, like constant
But-
company surveillance.
But
Yeah.
but there's not, like when I show you guys where we're actually working, there's no camera.
Okay. So that makes all of the employees feel comfortable and there's a sense of trust.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Once you're inside, like right now, there's cameras watching us. Different story because it's
Yes.
a public space. But when you're within the office, now if you sit close to an entrance or an exit, different story. But we do have cameras everywhere, but not in the general. Like I can show you, it's not an issue.
I have a question regarding communication within your organization without. I know San Francisco in general has a very diverse population, and I'm just curious how you're able to communicate with so many different types of people and people who have different communication styles than you, and also within the working environment. How do you work with people who have different just working styles or just communication styles?
As a manager, you just have to adjust. I can't treat one person the same as another. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a good manager. Externally, though, communicating to different groups. If you look at our schedule, how many different ethnic nights that we have.
Yes.
We have. Just take a look at it. We have everything in
I
the
was
world.
here Jewish community
See,
night.
we have that. We have everything.
Yeah.
I want to say out of 81 regular season games, we made, without even looking at it, I bet we have about 65 special events. Now they're not always, like Jewish Heritage Night. They're not always like that, but they're different events that will draw in different crowds, and that's what the goal is. And it's a way to sell tickets, one, and it's also, on a day like that, we're also doing something on the field. We're giving out a free item to this group that buys a special ticket to it. So I think that's just connecting with different groups for almost every game.
So on the topic of like tickets, what are the demographics? Like, we can start off with age. Like, what age range are most of your season ticket holders?
Well, they're expensive, so they're going to be on the older side. I don't mean like 50s and 60s, but you're going to have people in their mid late 20s that will also own season tickets at different areas. I think in baseball fans in general, like I'm talking like all over the U.S., I think are maybe a little bit older than most. I mean, if you look at ratings during the World Series, the demographic there is going to be a little bit older than the Super Bowl, for example. But we, on the sales side, we try to get creative. We may do a college night if we want younger crowds to come in. We'll do I don't know what we call it, but it's almost like knitting night. You come in here, you sit in a section, you're knitting. We try to reach out to different groups to at least have a connection. I mean, it's a wide range.
You made a good point on the and because you only sell full season, so
Mhm.
that might be a sort of a financial
It's expensive. I mean,
restrictions for like younger fans.
you have to be dedicated. Now, we also have services where if you can't afford a full season, we can have a season ticket holder post something to our website looking to find partners or selling a share of their season tickets. It could be 20 games, it could be 40 games. So we try to help partner people up. And you do see a lot of younger fans doing that. Now, if you're talking high school, maybe college, you're looking more as whenever they have time, whenever they want to go, or if they're looking to go to it's more individual game tickets.
Cool. Does anyone have any other questions? I'm sure we're.
I hope this
all-
helps. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is
This
it? I
is
mean,
awesome.
I don't know if this is boring or if this is.
We're very
know,
curious.
One thing that we've changed recently, and we were the first team to do so, is that we do dynamic pricing.
Pardon?
Dynamic pricing. So beforehand, it used to be, if you're talking about one seating location, like lower box, we'll just say, beforehand it used to be one price all across the board for every game. I'm talking about our box office. So if you want to go to a Dodger game, an Astros game, an A's game, any game, you may be paying $50 a ticket. That's how it was for forever. We started to change it where we had weekday pricing and weekend pricing because there was a demand on the weekends. Now we actually, every single game is priced differently based on the market. We never go below our season ticket base, but you can get, a lower box ticket for $29. That same seat the next day could be $89. So it depends on what month it is, the day of the week, who we're playing, who's pitching, the weather. I want to say we change pricing almost every day.
Do your ticket sales, this is just a random question, decrease or increase when the Giants play the Dodgers?
In pricing, you mean, or just sales in general? Pricing, it always goes up.
Yeah.
But there is a difference if you're going to buy, the Dodgers are coming this homestand. It's a lot cheaper than if they were coming in July.
Really?
Because summertime is here, we start to get, people have more money to spend during the summer, there's tourists that are coming, people are out of school, trying to find something to do. So tickets are more expensive after May than they are the first 2 months of the year.
As you try selling tickets, I noticed you guys have boxes. Do you have boxes, correct?
Boxes like,
Where you have
like luxury suites?
Yeah, luxury
yeah,
suites.
absolutely.
Is that a big goal also to get ticket holders to get into there as well?
Yeah, we have 67 suites on our actual suite level. I want to say maybe, without looking, 55, 58 are annual rentals, I guess. So they give us one check for the whole season. They get every game. We also have premium areas that we sell just games at a time, like the Virgin America Loft that you see on TV a lot. We have a few different premium spaces that we start to sell based on the experience. Some have food, some doesn't. It varies based on location.
I know that we're all very curious, and we probably will have more questions
Yeah.
if we don't ask them today. Is there any way we can email you questions
Absolutely.
as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
If we have more.
Of course.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
no, it's easy for me I'm always on my phone day and night.
Do you think
Yeah.
the department's opening up hiring interns?
We did
Also
actually.
opportunity.
We just hired, we hired 2 interns a year and we hired 3 seasonal employees. Literally, the intern just started Monday.
Oh wow.
Baseball's a little different based on timing, so it's very hard for us to do summer internships. We can't because then usually they'll start late May or early June. We need somebody out like somebody just started Monday. In a perfect world, they would have started a week before. But that's kind of the timing because of the baseball season. It's hard to get college students unless they're out or if they're in grad school. It's easier. But yeah, we have. There's probably like 20 interns every year within the organization. Yeah, we had to do a lot of hires just the last 2 months. So when I say seasonal, they're just working like a month before the season, and the job ends after the season.
Cool. Is everyone ready for the tour? I'm so eager. I'm like, I like seeing how people work in what environments.
Yeah, I'll show you around here and a couple places in the field, but then when we exit, we'll go to the office. So I'll show you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
you.
much.
Yeah. Have you guys all gone to a game here?
Yes.
Yes.